Besties, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Brush, a video podcast about everything and anything World Star Nail Artist Competition, brought to you by Scratch Magazine with our platinum sponsor, C&D. A quick reminder that this episode is going to be quite visual, so to make sure you don't miss out on all the fantabulous nail art, be sure to click on that little video button on Spotify so you could follow along. We're at a critical point in the competition and the tension is seriously high. Today we'll be looking at the last wildcard challenge and maybe give you an idea of who could be joining our top two, Monica and Katie, in the finale. To help me dissect these amazing entries are the most important people in WSNA. Joining me today is an admin lady, as she would call herself, a resident robot lover, a fellow Canadian beloved nail sister. Please help me welcome Helena Biggs, Beth Livesay, and Giselle Caballero, everybody. Woo.
Which is which?
Hello.
Which
Yeah,
is
I know.
admin, which is Canadian? Which is robot? No one will know.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Helena's the robot lover.
Yeah, I like
I'm
it.
Canadian, as we all know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
could see that.
And Giselle's the admin lady.
She's also
Yeah, of course.
amazing.
I'm like taking
Thank
notes.
you.
Who's making the teas today? Taking me notes right now.
I'll make the tea.
I'm sorry, but Canadians and Americans, I'm just going to put it out there. Your tea is not the same as ours.
We don't
you know that?
We don't drink tea. I don't drink tea. I don't. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to do.
It's so funny. Every British person I have ever met, that whenever they travel outside of the UK, they bring their own tea.
Nicola was like, "What is this?"
Yes,
And I'm like,
yeah.
"I don't know. You think I know what that is? I don't know. Is it coffee? Well, then I don't know what it is."
If you're not drinking coffee, you're doing it wrong. So, but you know, like I asked for a cup of tea in America, and you give me honey, and I'm like, I want milk, and then they give me cream, and I'm like, no, cream goes with coffee. I just want milk with a cup of tea. It's it's just not a thing. And you know what? I love you all, but it's just you don't get it. You don't do it right.
The struggle is real.
Point made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I completely agree with you. We fail on the tea game here.
For sure.
That's for sure.
It's all of ours in the harbor, so we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know what?
History.
Maybe it's something in the spirit, because we've got two Brits in our finals, so maybe it's powered by Tetley. Maybe they should be.
Oh, can they sponsor?
Maybe.
That would be amazing.
should.
A lot of caffeine for these challenges.
Yeah.
They
That's
probably
right.
drank a crap ton of Tetley tea.
And what does Maria drink? Like Red Bulls or
Red Bull Rockstar energy drink.
Brought to you by Rockstar and Tetley. Nail art.
The worst ever, you guys. That's horrible.
You gotta stay up.
I know, that's true.
Yeah.
Just high on life, everybody.
Yeah.
High on life. Yeah. All right, what are we doing here today? Something very important. You guys, this is our last wildcard challenge. I can't believe the competition is coming to an end almost.
It just started.
Crazy.
I
think it's been so fast paced as well, because these challenges are so intense, and we are so much of our competitors, and we do appreciate that, and we do understand that, you know, they are tough challenges, but it has gone so quickly because they're packing so much in.
Every week I'm like, wow, these guys have a lot of time to draft their challenges, because it's like, what, 1.5 weeks, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And in between, that's a really long time to allow yourself to overthink and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it just flies by. I'm like, holy crap, it's almost over.
Yeah, absolutely.
How does that work? Now, we always call this point a critical point, because it's fight or die fight or die.
Mhm.
Is that a term? That's a term now.
Yeah.
There are, how many entries do we have in the wild card entry? 8 contestants, and they're fighting for a spot in the finale.
How crazy. That's cool.
I can't. And this
That's
week
exciting.
they really just brought it. And it's really good to see because, you know, we love a contestant with a good fight. And that's exactly what they brought. Now, Beth, you are the person who came up with this whole wild card component. So can you please? Yes, you did.
If you guys want to blame somebody, it's the Canadian. I was like admin lady. I don't know.
You're one of those special people. Yeah. But like, can you reiterate again to our listeners, maybe this is their first time joining us, why the wildcard component is so important?
Well, it's an important component because we only did 4 regular challenges. Like you were saying, Winnie, they had a week and a half, 2 weeks to figure out those challenges. They were longer videos. There were more nails. So I think we thought with only 4 challenges, we need more to see who else should be rounding out our top 3 and get to go to Scratch Star Awards and have a shot at the finale, which includes the cash prize. So we have this wild card because we don't like letting people go. We don't like saying goodbye. We love keeping talented people around if they want to play. And I have to tell you, I never imagined we'd get down to it and have 8 people like still in the game. Like I'm shocked, and I am just so impressed with all 8 of you. I mean, huge congratulations to each of you because you stuck it out. You proved that you're capable, that you have endurance. I really think that's something to look up to. So I am just wowed by the results. And again, this last wild card, everyone did an exceptional job. Like this is really truly, I think this made it harder to have the wild card. At the end. Yeah.
It's so hard. So you are to blame.
Yes, exactly.
Because of you. How dare you? Now, Giselle, you are our guest judge this week. Woo, welcome. You've been in everything, and I know we've had you on our podcast like in the beginning before the competition really took off, and you gave a lot of great tips on how to compete, why you should compete, and what being in a competition like WSNA will further your career in nails and beauty. You are no stranger to being an underdog because if I remember correctly, you competed before and you rise up from the valley of never mind. I'm not gonna go there. But you came out from the very bottom, picked yourself back up, and ended up winning a whole entire competition. Like, why do you think it's important to have wildcard component in a competition like this?
I think it's a really good, not just why it's important, but I think it's a really good opportunity for people to showcase skills that maybe they didn't get a chance to showcase in the other challenges. Because I feel like we all can do so many things, right? We are all so capable of doing so many things. And sometimes we don't get a chance to showcase something that maybe we're really good at, right? Yeah. And again, I think we have to be well-rounded and of course, everything. But sometimes there is going to be a challenge that maybe, we just don't get, or, life got on the way, mental health, and so many other things. So the wild challenge gives you the opportunity to just, get yourself put together and maybe just push yourself one more time to showcase everything maybe you didn't get a chance to showcase, or improve what you already showcased in previous challenges. So again, I think it's like another opportunity for you to just push it. And if you didn't have that, then we would miss out on all these really amazing entries that they send, right? Because again, like Beth says, 4 challenges is not enough for us to see really what one person can offer. And this is one more opportunity to do that. So I love those challenges. And like you say, I think I went through like 3 of them. So, so for me, it was good because I thought this is it. You can put all your time and effort. And it doesn't mean less or more. It just means another opportunity for you to showcase more of your work that we haven't seen. So that's I think that's why it's so important.
Spoken like a true champion.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Now, this challenge, specifically Wildcard Challenge, we made it extra hard because, you know, we thought, yes, that's exactly what we're going to do to torture these poor souls. Helena, I know you came up with this wonderful idea of this entire challenge. Do you want to sort of go introduce us to this amazing, really, really difficult challenge?
Yes, please.
Really? Yeah, of course. I mean, for those who aren't part of the competition listening, basically over the challenges, whether they've been the core challenges or the wildcard challenges, we've really enjoyed kind of getting to know our competitors and seeing their different skills, where their style lies, but also learning more about them and their passions and how their brains work. And it's been such a fascinating journey to kind of piece those pieces together and learn so much about our competitors. But this one, we kind of wanted to bring all of that together in one. And so we asked them to create a figurine of themselves on top of a nail, but utilizing elements from their previous challenges. So it asked them to be inventive, but asked them to pull from their entire journey with WSNA, but wrap that up in one figure, but tell us more about them. Show us your favorite things. Show us who you are as a figurine and as a competitor. And we got amazing results from that. And as usual, some were literal, some were not literal.
Yeah. I was going to say, Helena, I love this challenge because it's always interesting to see how people see themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like you were saying, some were like true to form. Like we have like Maria, who's like, well, I'm an artist. I wear a beret. I have perfect highlights in my makeup, you know, and I carry all my work. And then you have Corinna, and I mean, I feel like I'd be like Corinna. Like I just like donuts and food, like like everything, like an amalgamation of everything.
Yes.
I loved seeing how these people each saw themselves, and I do think that we learned more about them like in the process. And I do want to say though, like I think in general a criticism though of this, like with the work that was turned in, I feel like there are still some people who could have told us a little bit more about themselves. That's like a slight thing, because we obviously all know they're great artists, right? So we get that, we know your style, we know your technique, but I loved it when people like really dug deep. Like Corinna threw out all this stuff about her relationship with her kids, and she has a lot of tattoos, and I was like, wow, like I didn't know, you know. So it was really interesting, Helena. I thought this was just such a great challenge. And also, like, how many different ways can you like sculpt a body, right? Like we saw every technique. It was really cool.
It was so cool. Like they used so many different materials. I think this challenge really pushed them in terms of they had to pick out so many random elements from previous challenges, but make them sort of cohesive in a way and make them blend together. And the way that some people mastered this and put it together was incredible. And I just want to go back to Corinna, because hers was the first one I saw, because I go through them alphabetically, and hers was just so much fun. And like you said, in her videos you wouldn't tell that she's got loads of tattoos. So really fun to learn that about her. And she basically said, well, I really like donuts, so my face is a donut. And I was like, you nailed the challenge. That's kind of what we asked for. There we go. And it was the poison dart frog from the Nature's that challenge. And even reaching for the WSNA star. She created so many fun elements from the competition. I felt like, yes, this is categorically Corinna and her journey, and I really enjoyed this one. It was really fun.
And more staples. Like
more staples.
Like smart. She used the technique that she won for, you know?
Yes.
Brilliant.
I had a chance to chat with Corinna, and her tactic is very, very refreshing to see. She's like, well, I just want to have fun. Like,
Yes.
fun
right?
is her whole entire approach to this game, and I'm just like, wow, you really did let that shine through, like the whole fun thing, and it's so funny because now I want to know where all her tattoos are.
Yeah, right.
Where do you hide it?
And I'm wondering that she hand painted the Scratch logo on the back of her figurine. I'm like, is there a Scratch tattoo coming?
Oh, isn't that
Wow.
So
Good idea.
although
boy.
you've got to be careful where you tattoo the word Scratch, right?
The back makes sense. Back makes sense.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
like it. But
We
I think
all
what
like
you're
it,
saying,
but-
Winnie, in contrast, like Karina's design, like you said, she just wanted to have fun. In contrast, Camilla came out fighting. So she moved into the wild card this week and she created a warrior. And there's fun,
That was
and then
amazing.
there's also like, no, I'm here for this. I'm
Serious.
in the fight,
Yeah.
and this is now. It's not now and
Yes.
ever, it's now. And so the beauty of this challenge was that there were so many different interpretations from it, and I just loved looking at them all. But this one was very powerful for me, I think, Camilla's one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I absolutely love the amount of, like, we never see figurines being sculpted from scratch, right? Like, there's so many. Everybody used a different method this week. Have you noticed? Like, there are wires, there are clay, there's foam, styrofoam, and
Nail
then there's nail tips.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
the nail tip.
So it's like,
Yes.
it just shows you how versatile, techniques are, because there's no specific way in sculpting a body, and this challenge definitely demonstrated that. But back to Camilla, like, if you just look at her work and her entries, you wouldn't, like, her personality, she's very stern. Like, I think we've mentioned this before. She's very, like, intense. She's like, this is me and I'm gonna do this. But she's actually hilarious as an artist. And her determination really shines through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that she went green here from that, because that last
Yes.
green is color. Like, she
Yeah.
does well with any color, but the green here, I was like, oh, I'm so glad she brought that back. Like, it is so bold and prevalent. But like, even I was noticing the details on the clothes.
Yes.
Her and Maria and Gemma, like the way they paid attention to clothes. Danielle, of course, really cool trick by putting the glove as her dress. But like the clothing these people made for their figurines, I mean, that was a chance to really show us more technique, more detail. And I just thought Camilla did a great job showing us like how she made that skirt, that cape, which is like fabulous. Like the shoes, the mask, like just so many chances to put detail into this, and she took advantage of it. I loved it.
And it still amazes me that this is 3 days from, like, from complete concept to creation. And I'm like, we gave them the brief at Friday evening UK time, and Tuesday evening they had to send it. And it's to come up with a concept, then think about what materials you're going to use and how you're going to craft that, and then having the thought process of all of the hidden details and the meanings behind it. It just astounds me. And I think for me, Danielle has always excited me with her entries in terms of the way that she thinks. So sort of moving on to her, I've never seen an entrant with so many thought processes in the design, if that makes sense. I think she includes so many meanings and elements in every single one of her creations, and that's why it helps for us to have a written component as well, because she laid all of these out for us. And there was like 20 different components to Danielle's design. And
so many.
I'm so glad she brought back the pink glove to create that dress. Like, I wrote on my comments back last issue how much I thought that was innovative when she used it as the rose in Nature's Canvas in that context. And I think, the fact that not only did she know that we liked it and played on that and used it in a different form to create her dress, but then there was even another meaning, because last year she won her first Scratch Star Award, and she was wearing a bright pink. And that's what I based it on. So with Danielle, there's more than one meaning behind everything. And it really excites me with her to see all of that come together.
Yes.
Yeah, her video this week was great. It was very straight to the point, lots of teaching moments. And I remember when she focused a lot on this specific piece, like the face. But it has so many different meanings. I love when she's like sculpt from reality, not from memory. So, and I was like, hey, that's a great tip. She had a great reference, which is herself. And do you guys remember the end of her video? She like posed with the let's see if we can find it was creepily like identical. Look at it.
Yeah.
She got it spot on.
She knows. She did good.
That was
brilliant. I think with that, like just looking at that design, I'm like, there are so many elements to it. It just is, even like down to the socks. Like she used a new technique that she hadn't used in this competition, and the socks had a meaning that her and her son wear matching socks all the time. It's a thing that they do, and she explained the reason why in her written contribution to this challenge. And it's things like that that's why the written component and the video is so important, because you don't realize those things often on first glance. Like you appreciate the talent, the style, the creativity, but until you read all those meanings. And I feel like I've really got to know our competitors this week, and it's been such a joy to watch them grow, but also culminate in learning this much about them.
Totally. Right. Now let's talk about Gemma. She put up a good fight.
I dressed like Gemma.
That was so good.
I'm Gemma. Like I have my bubbles. I have my hot pink. I love champagne. I actually have like a champagne purse. So Gemma, I just feel like I really connect with her. Oh, she's the cowboy boots.
Like, the Texas she's totally you.
Thing. Yeah, I think we are kindred spirits, Gemma and I. But for Gemma, I just want to say, again, we've seen a lot of people come in to compete who are good character artists. They're good like hand painters, and I feel like we usually have to tell them like, don't do that every week. With Gemma, I feel like we never had to say that to her, right?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know. I'll reiterate, I didn't even know from the start that's what she did. It wasn't until I looked at her Instagram, I was like, oh, wow, like that's not what I see in the competition. So Gemma really stepped it up, and she like the caricature version of her face. But like kudos to her for not like hand painting herself or like doing another 2D. She really was like, I'm gonna do 3D. I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna make it a bobblehead. So I completely applaud her. She never did the one trick pony thing. She never did what she could have done and just relied on what she was good at week after week. She always mixed it up. So again, I just want to give her like huge props, because I feel like she just proved every week, she's a mathematician. She's an artist. She can do any kind of art. She's a mom. She's a wife, So I just really, I'm proud of Gemma.
The bobblehead for me was just inspired. I just thought that was so cool, and that had a hidden meaning, because she said in her video that her and her husband on their wedding day, someone created bobbleheads for them. So this just I do feel like this is the Gemma we've got to know throughout this competition. On and now, fun, bubbly in more ways than one, loves a prosecco, has tried so many cool new things, but also has that side to her that is very studious. And she even I think the formula on her cloud above her head was for HEMA. So she's very industry aware. So she got marks for professionalism and passion for me, because she knows what's going on in the wider sector and just utilize the techniques, not just taking the elements from previous challenge, but using the techniques like from the very first challenge, the shade sense challenge, to create the bubble flow out of the prosecco. So it showed me how much she's learned and throughout this competition, and how she can use all of those skills and those techniques and then some to create this design that is categorically her.
Helena, I was thinking as you were talking, I feel like with the brief, when I was trying to remember what the challenge brief was, I was like, oh, they had to take something from a past challenge and put it in this one. And so I was thinking like, oh, that's a good time saver. Like, like we saw Maria put her nail tips and Corinna used the star, the alien hand holding the star. But that's actually not what the brief says. The brief says you can use the technique. So
Yes.
I was like, you know what? Those people who, not that the people who used things from the other challenges did wrong. I still think they played by the rules. But the people who were like, no, I'm just going to repeat the technique. Like Danielle remade those feathers. All over. And I was like, you didn't have to do that, I don't think, technically, but you did. So I was just surprised at all the people, like Gemma. She was like, I'm not going to reuse the water. I'm going to like make
do it.
Feather. I was like, these people could have taken an easier way out, and a lot of them didn't. So again, just kudos to all of you, because I think a lot of you could have you could have saved some time and you chose not to. So good.
Yeah. I remember, Beth, you and I were chatting yesterday. We're like, oh my God, what is happening? Look at these entries. What do we do now? And I specifically remember I was like, oh man, lying. I don't see any like stuff from her previous pieces in her entry. But then I reread the brief and I was like, it only asked for elements of past like entries. So I was like, okay,
the panda. Because she did her panda.
She sculpted the panda instead of like from her painting and stuff. And I was like, holy moly, that just blew my mind. Not that like tiny little miniature pandas are impressive. I mean, they are, but I was like, wow, the way, like the thought process to incorporate all that back into this one piece. And it makes me feel really proud of my heritage, because I was like, holy, this is my culture as well. And I was like, wow. And she talked about like sculpting a phoenix, and phoenix is like, it has that symbolism of like coming back to life. And I was like, okay, you get a point.
Yes. I mean, and I gotta say, her video to me, it was so good. Like I felt like it was very clean and it was very easy to follow her techniques. And I feel like it just goes maybe along with the whole theme that she created, very sophisticated and very elevated.
Yes.
It was so good.
I completely agree. Like the clean lines. I mean, look at this detail, and it's something that photos often don't do justice. This is why like this video, seeing all angles of it, but Laying has been so consistently beautiful with her designs throughout this entire competition. I think the intricacy of them and her precision, I think, is up there. It's her application skills and techniques and the detail. I think she's so precise, and that is where I think she shines. That's her forte. And her videos have always been absolutely fantastic, really professional.
Absolutely. I don't think we've applauded Laying enough for the beautiful, when we say like, is your station clean, is the professionalism, like to me she embodies professionalism. She always has perfect intro, perfect write-up, and then that video is clean. You can see up close what he's doing. You see, she shows you the finished product up close. And also props to her and Gemma for making the nail wearable.
They
didn't have to. You could have just made like a figure like we saw Karina, Camilla, Danielle, but they were like, no, we're gonna make it wearable. And I was like, that is even harder. Like, I know we wanted them to go big, so I was like, I applaud the people who went big, but then I'm like, to now put that
actually
on I was like, you're crazy.
That was amazing. I was like, they actually they did a nail and they put the stuff on the nail. Like, that was amazing. That was
crazy.
I want to give a shout out to our girl Maria. She's going through some health issues, but I'm so proud of her. I know you can't tell, but she's like, I'm not letting this stop me.
No.
So she really pushed through this week, and I have to give her a big shout out for being a good contestant and just like overcome whatever it is you're going through. Her piece this week is scaringly realistic.
Absolutely.
I was like, oh man, if that thing was in my house, I would be scared to stare at it.
It was really good.
It was really good. And just I feel like when you look at this piece, immediately you know it's her.
No, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because I mean, what else do you do? Like, she just looks like her. That's her.
I mean, her and Danielle, like her piece and Danielle's piece were iconically them.
Yeah.
Who just, you knew instantly exactly who they were in this competition. And I think this was a very true to life formation. It was really fun. But like you said, Beth, about Maria holding the nail earlier, and the meaning behind that was the week she found the toughest when she created that nail, but she came out on top, and holding it as a reminder that, you know, this has helped me on my journey. I'm taking this with me. So that's the symbolism there. And it's just really fun and clever. And I like that, you know, she used all the space on the nail tip to create a little tree with nail polish and representing her growth in the competition. And it's just some of these thought process. I don't think I would have the creativity to think of all these meanings that our contestants have been thinking of. I think they're so clever.
Totally. Yes. And I often say the W in WSNA stands for wild and wacky and weird.
Yeah.
This week, Lisa really showed us how weird her imagination is.
Oh my God.
She is so funny.
I really want to give Lisa like some applause too here, because she stuck it out every week. You know, she just goes there. She's like, I'm not afraid. Remember that crazy nail she made, like the underwater scene? It had like 1 million elements.
Yeah.
Like, this girl just is not afraid to dig deep, to go for it. And I really just admire that about her. And she is always on camera looking beautiful, looking positive. Yeah. So, and I thought the symbolism here was really great with like the pregnancy and like, you know, the idea that, you know, every contestant is giving birth to like these creations.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I appreciated it.
I was like, where did the Scorpio come from? Like, why is she a Scorpio? It's just so wacky, and I love it. And I love that she's giving birth to her nail baby.
And I also think
love that.
When she included the nod to scratch at the back of her design with the founders as well, and I was like, oh, that's a last minute, a great tactic to involve there. It's just going to give, you know, props to the founders, and, you know, I think that was a really nice touch.
Yeah,
but I love seeing how everybody comes with such crazy ideas, you know.
Yes, for sure.
But I feel like on maybe the other challenges, again, they may not have the chance to come up with just such a wow thing in their minds. And then to put it all together, and then for us to get what they're doing, like, it's mind-blowing, you know, the amount of work and dedication, and then thinking all your ideas and then condensing it and making it easy to read, I guess. Even if you don't read the descriptions, you know there is a story to it. It's not just like a little doll standing. Like, you want to know what's going on behind it. Right. There is so many elements. So I just love seeing how all their ideas come together and everything connects in their final little piece. It's really good to see.
Totally. Now I remember I was like, we're not going through all these entries.
We almost have, apart from Loy, who has again been so consistent with his creations throughout this and showed us what an impeccable, amazing artist he is. Like, and his wasn't a literal one, so there wasn't a figurine of him on the nail, but he showed us his heritage, his story, and some symbolism with his. And there is no denying that Loy is just the most fabulous artist. So he delivers with his specialist is extreme shapes and nail shape. And it's just a beautifully embellished, stunning nail.
Totally.
I think Lloyd just needs to be free. He doesn't like being confined to a brief, that he wants to fly like and his artwork is just beautiful, but I think he just wants to be free.
Totally.
And that's cool. Maybe in this competition he's discovered that by like
That's
himself
true.
too, right? Like
That's true.
because sometimes you join these competitions, challenges, and then you think, oh, I'm still gonna do this and I got it. But then as you move forward or as you do challenges, you learn something about yourself. You know, you learn what you like or what you're good or what you can improve. So maybe by now he's decided, you know, maybe I just want to do my own thing. I want to take what you're telling me and then just kind of ride with it. And maybe this is like something really good for him. Maybe he's learned so much about what he really wants and what he's passionate. So I love how these competitions just kind of guide you and teach you. Even if you don't win, or if you win, it is what it is, but you learn so much and you can grow and you can improve so much during your journey. So I love if you feel like he maybe is not super into rules and stuff, maybe that's good for him. Maybe he's discovered something new about himself. So that's exciting.
And I think it's cool too about the wild card, since we're not eliminating. I mean, and you're not going to quit. Loy's never quit, right?
No.
That's right.
I love it. So you do whatever you want. You're going to get feedback from Giselle. You're going to get Helena seeing your pieces. You're going to get Winnie talking about you. Like, so why not? Like, you know, bend the rules a little. Like, if you're just gonna stay in to learn, like you said, Giselle, and find out what works for you, then there's no downside to that. I don't think.
No.
Use it to your advantage.
Exactly.
Man.
Play the game your own way. There you go.
I like it.
Wild.
It's not called wild card for no reason.
That's right.
There you go. And that's all of our entries for this week. I honestly, hands up.
Yes.
Good job, everybody.
So good.
You have outdone yourself once again for the final time, and everyone is so deserving of being in the finale. But you know, we can't give out participation sashes to everybody. There are definitely a few entries this week that stood out, but we're going to have to wait till Friday to find out the results. But I just have to say, great job. You all interpreted it in such a fabulous way. Yeah. And carried out your art and showed us your fight. Like, that's all we could really ask for at this stage of the competition.
True. Definitely.
Right?
I think it was sad to, unfortunately, this week we've lost a couple of competitors for health reasons, and just want to give a shout out to Claudia and to Nathan as well, who have been incredible competitors this season. Have both sent emails. Sadly, had to pull out of this challenge, but just props to them for being amazing and exciting us. And I can't wait to keep following their journey, and hopefully they'll enter again next year, because I've loved both of their journeys and their creations, and we are very sad that they didn't compete in their last challenge. But health does come first. So
yes, that's what we always say. Like, you know your body the best, right? So listen to it. Do what Selena was like. You need sleep. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're
you need sleep.
Maria, you need sleep. If you don't sleep, you're not gonna do good work. So health is important when it comes to competing, because it ensures your longevity, right? So
that's right.
So what happens now, you guys?
We just walk away. We can't.
What do we do?
10 winners. There we go. We're done.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You know what? This is really hard. I mean, we're actually really pushed for time on this, because we're working across 3 different time zones between all of us judges, and maybe 4 different time zones. I don't even know, like too many. And we've got to somehow come together within the next day and a half to try and make a decision about who is going to take the final spot in our top 3. And again, I think I said this on one of the earlier podcasts, I cannot call it, and I'm glad it's a group decision, and I'm also glad it's not just based on this final wild card. It's based on the entire competitor journey, and everyone has had such a different journey and pulled so many different things out of the bag, and like Giselle said a minute ago, everyone's had their own very independent journey and learning experience as well, and we've got to take all of that into account to try and fill the final slot. And I think they're all amazing. I think this is going to be really tough.
Yeah, I'm nervous for us. I was gonna say but it's not. You're just the one like getting the results first when you're doing the math, which but I'm nervous for everyone. Really,
yes,
it is a nail biter. Yeah,
it's stressful.
Ooh.
It's stressful.
Yeah,
I like that nail biter.
Yeah, but what will happen next is that when we announce the finalists, they will be getting one final challenge on Friday the 7th of July. So straight after they're announced as finalists, they will get the brief for the final challenge, and they will have 10 days to create a design across 10 nails. Beth has written it, so you can blame her entirely.
It's so exciting.
And it's that this is kind of the final hurdle because it's 10 nails, and the other challenges have been 5
and 10 days as opposed to 14. So you know there has
pressure's on.
There has to be a little bit of a difficulty level. Yeah,
absolutely. And then those finalists will be coming to, hopefully, the Scratch Stars party on the 23rd of July, where the 3rd, 2nd and 1st place in the World Star Nail Artist will be revealed. So between the 17th and the 23rd, we'll be making our final decisions, again taking everything into account, but also that final challenge is going to be quite weighty because that's going to encompass everything that you've learned in this competition. And then that's where the winner will be revealed. I think we're inviting some guest judges from previous challenges for the final decision, as far as I'm aware. So we shall see, but that will all be revealed on Friday.
Oh
yes, more to
super
come.
Exciting.
More to come. Now, Giselle, thank you for being our guest
judge
this
for
week.
helping.
Thank you for having me. How exciting!
No. Do you have any, not last words, but do you have any words of advice for everybody in the wild card deck and the people in the finale, our 2 top finalists?
Yes, of course. Again, to everybody that's competed, that's been part of the competition, please appreciate it, every moment of it. Even whatever happens moving forward, it's just kind of like a bonus. But whatever you gain from, the competition, your journey, your practicing and techniques and all that, that's what's the most valuable. And remember, people are watching, so it doesn't mean that the competition is over when somebody wins. It's just kind of like the beginning of something else. And then for the people moving forward to the last part of this competition, I think by now we can kind of see who you are, right? Like now it's kind of more clear what your style is, what your personality is. So keep that in mind when you do your final work, and show us something we haven't seen, right? Like it's maybe time for you to sit down and dig deep and really maybe push yourself just one last time and show something that maybe we haven't seen. Maybe it's something that you're like, I wanted to try that one thing and I didn't, but maybe now I feel like I could refine it and get it to the next level, because this is it. This is the last part of this. And so if you don't do those things that you wanted to do, you're going to feel like, oh, wow, I should have done that, or I could have pushed it a little bit more, or I could have added, or maybe take a little bit less, right? So just keep all those things in mind. Don't overthink it, and just go with your feel for it, I guess, your vibe, who you are, right?
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I can't wait. That's going to be so exciting.
It's going to be good. I bet you Karina has a tattoo that says no regrets on her.
Yes, she should. I think she should.
I want to see. Well, thank you, my amazing trios, for going through these entries with me today. Because honestly, at this stage of the competition, it's anybody's game, right, guys?
Yeah.
So honestly, your input is so very much appreciated, and the results it will show itself, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, if this episode doesn't make you feel more nervous about the competition, I don't know. These artists are so ridiculously talented and so big hats off to all of you for pushing through and making it this far. Congratulations, all of you. Now is where you, our audiences, this is where you come in. Help send your favorite artists to the finale and claim that last spot in the finale by voting at www.scratchmagazine.co.uk/WSNA. Speaking of the finale, celebrate these hardworking artists in person at the biggest event of the year. The Scratch Stars Award is happening on July 23rd, and that is where we will finally crown the winner of WSNA. Last but definitely not least, be sure to join in on the conversation and cheer them on by following us on Instagram at BeyondTheBrush_podcast, at Scratch Magazine, and at CND World. We find out the results on Friday, so hang on to your seats and we'll catch you on the next one. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Good job.